Welcome to the Artist Academy podcast. This is a place where we focus on the business of art to attract more customers, to increase our profits, to ultimately live a life of creativity and financial freedom. And I'm your host, Andrea Earhart. And I say that for every single episode. If you haven't been here for the last almost 400 episodes. Well, I started saying that exact thing about 200 episodes ago once I got my bearings, but we're almost approaching episode 400, and I have a special solo episode for you coming up that has been on my mind. I was thinking a lot about why I do what I do and why I like to share, especially with women. I know that we have some guys listen, but it's predominantly women. Shout out to the girls. And why am I so motivated to have showed up every single week and created 400 episodes of this podcast and do the membership and the whole thing? Why do I like sharing all of these art quote secrets and things? And I think a lot of it is just when women make money, we have the power of choice, and we have the power of so many things, of not settling, of getting that scarcity mindset and shooing it away. There's just so many things in that. And that has been a subject that has been on me to talk about personally. And so I'm putting it together. But so just to let you know, episode 400 might be a deep one. But today I'm going to talk about a really strange subject that I actually thought about not sharing at all, because I feel like my fears around this and sharing this with you is that people are going to be like, well, she's an art business coach. She should be booked out for months and weeks and years. And, she should know, like, this is the thing. But the reality of right now is the first quarter of the year, basically, like the first third of the year, I made $100,000, and I was like, let's go. I was so excited, and I really ended up being exhausted at the end of it. And then I had a couple big projects on that fell through or got pushed down to maybe later's kind of a thing. And then I just had little things here and there to where now, a little over halfway through the year, I actually have 0 projects, 0 commissions, or nothing is on my books right now. And that is so rare. It hasn't happened in a really long time. And I'm like looking around on Instagram and being like, okay, well, other muralists are busy, and like, what's going on? And then I just really did a check-in as to why I think this is happening. And so this is going to be an episode of just sharing exactly what is happening right now and what I'm doing to fix it and how I ended up here. So here we are. First off, so starting at about probably about May, I started to slow down quite a bit. So current day being July, though not that long ago, but I started to slow down quite a bit. And I was like, you know what? This is kind of nice. Let me enjoy the weather. Let me start my garden. Let's hang out. We got a bunch of different animals, meaning like I got a mini cow, and we got some goats, and like we added to the farm. And plus things were starting to hatch, sprung on our farm, and there's little baby chicks everywhere. And I was just I don't want to work mentality. And I wasn't feeling, quote, motivated. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to let this go. I didn't send out hardly any outreach emails, or I don't know if I sent out any at all. Or I slowed down on social media posting, and I just lived. And I was like, you know what? I have earned this. And I really truly feel like I did. I worked really hard in the months to where there wasn't really a whole lot of other things to do. I had motivation from the beginning of the year. I had student calls. I had another virtual assistant working under me, which made me do things to help with the academy and all the things. And so, but now I've really scaled back on how much one-on-one stuff I do with the academy, and I don't have my extra virtual assistant anymore. Thank gosh, I'm done with that. 2 virtual assistants, 1 working completely full-time. I was just completely done with delegating. I don't know how people do it. I have a couple friends who they have people, full-time employees under them, and they're constantly delegating and constantly there's certain things with a business, like you can have a virtual assistant and they mostly help you run your art business, but there are things that you have to double check and you have to keep them busy and you have to just maintain it. You know, the virtual assistant I have now, it's pretty easygoing, but I still have to, give her tasks and check those tasks and make sure they're doing well. And like, it's just a lot compiled onto the painting that I'm already doing and the life I want to, the downtime I want to have and the time I want to spend with my son. It's just another thing. So having another virtual assistant on top of it was a lot. And not something that I want to do all the time. And I'm grateful that I hired her for about 6 months and we did a lot of great things and we created a map, like a mural map, and she helped me create that. And we did a lot of renovating, I guess you could say that, in the academy and redoing videos and just a lot of new promotion things. We did a lot of Pinterest pins and like just a lot of things. She helped me write emails and like things like that. So now I've gotten everything done. Like there's not a lot more on my to-do list that I need to do in that area. And I'm just sitting back and enjoying it. But there's a little bit of part of me that's like, wait, I don't have anything planned. I don't have anything on the books. Like, shouldn't I do something? Shouldn't I have something planned? And granted, there's been several things that I have talked to people about and I put bids in, and there's a couple mural festivals that I've applied to. And like, I've tried, okay? I've tried a lot. I tried really hard. I sent out quite a bit of email pitches, but I didn't follow up to the majority of them. So I don't know how, like a lot of things happen in the follow up there, but so I would say overall, I put in a lot of effort at the beginning of the year, and I put in minimal effort in the last couple months. And also, as you might be able to tell, I also, there's not a whole lot of want here. There's a little bit of like, oh, I should probably be doing something, but really, I just want to hang out and I want to create the things I want to create, and I want to paint on canvas, and I just did our bathroom cabinets and redid those and like sanded and stained and all just a lot of things that I have been on my to-do list for a while that I've been wanting to do. And they're pretty much coming to a close now. And so now I'm shifting my energy into, okay, let's start to make things happen, because I think energy has a lot to do with it, right? At the beginning of the year, I put out there, I'm going to make 100K in the first 100 days. And that was a lot. And I'm going to do this and that. And things just started to come my way. Granted, I was putting out a lot of effort too. And I was showing up on socials pretty often and like doing the things. But my energy was like, give me all the stuff. I can handle it. Let's do big things. Let's be busy. And I worked about 4 to 5 days a week. And there was one week that I worked a little bit on a Saturday, which I hate to do, but I did a little bit. and it was great. But nowadays I work about 3 days a week and I'm home with my son about 4 days a week, not complaining. I think it's so fun. And this is the time to do it, right? When he's fun and the weather's great and it's a lot. So I feel like I am working 7 days a week by the amount of toddler energy that's coming in all the time. But yeah, so that's where we're at in a nutshell. And the things that I have been doing now in the last couple days, I wanted to chat with you about, because I was like, oh, this will be a good podcast episode for somebody who doesn't have anything on the books and you have the time, right? You have the time to do things. And in my case, I have the cushion of financial because I saved up everything, but let's pretend you don't have that, right? Let's pretend that you didn't make 100K in the first whatever of the year. And you're like, okay, I'm just really behind and I need to get my butt in gear right now. What can I do? So that's what this episode is about. What can you do? So I'm going to share what I'm doing, which is number one, I went to a meeting last week, which is our local Chamber of Commerce, which I am a member of, which I had skipped meetings the past 4 or 5 months because I was so busy. And so I finally went, I showed up, and at every one of them, they say, hey, does anybody have anything new that they want to talk about? And our little Chamber of Commerce is so cute. There's not a whole lot of members. And so I was like, hi, yes. So I stood up, and as uncomfortable as it was, and as much as my stomach was churning beforehand, I was like, hi, I'm the local Rogersville artist. This is what I'm doing. If anybody wants a Roger the Raccoon, so I'm taking it into my own hands of really promoting this project that I started a year ago. So last year I started the Roger the Raccoon project, where since Rogersville was once the raccoon capital of the world, I am trying to create this scavenger hunt, or I did create the scavenger hunt of creating little raccoons customized to businesses, and people can go around, take pictures with them. And so I'm promoting that heavily right now. I'm messaging people who messaged me last year or several months ago who wanted one that I just didn't follow up with. So I'm messaging customers that had once reached out and said that they want something. So number one on there is, well, I guess that's number two. So, okay. Number one was I went to a local Chamber of Commerce meeting. And how that could translate to you is go to an in-person networking meeting. They have business to business groups. Mine was the local Chamber of Commerce that I really like to go to. Went there, said hi, said what I want, promoted my thing, and then that's it. The meeting itself is not super interesting, but it's just an hour out of your day going in and promoting what you offer, your painting services really quick, and then that's it. So in-person meeting, I think that works really, really well. Number two, messaging customers who had reached out and said that they were interested, but maybe you didn't follow up with them, or they said something about whatever. For some reason, it fell off, which happens quite a bit. If I went through all the customers who had reached out to me, if I was really good and created an Excel sheet of all the customers that reach out so I could go back and look at them and reach out to them again, it would probably be 100 a year, maybe. I don't know. That might be a bit much. But so I may have probably 500 people that have reached out to me and nothing has happened with it in my whole time of being a full-time muralist, right? And so that would be the number two thing to reach out to, is just people who wanted something, or you even just asked about something and saying, hey, so the follow-up, what your message could be. I mean, it just depends on what people were saying. But in the instance of the Roger the Raccoons, people had reached out before. I had remembered them, luckily. and I just reached out saying, hey there, have you thought about what kind of customization we could add to your raccoon? How about this? So I give a little bit of a suggestion, and then it gives them a question to come back to. Number three, I went to the notes section of my phone, which is where I keep an ever long to-do list of things. Like if somebody mentions something like, hey, this town over is doing an art call, or hey, this is this and that, I will write it down. I will not do it, and I will do it whenever I have time. So right now is a time where I have time. And I remembered somebody mentioned there's an art call for a like $2,000 the Route 66 mural / like community project. So they want a sketch ahead of time. So I'm just going to go into, and I've started this already. I just haven't gotten it quite perfect yet, but I go into Midjourney and I put in some prompts and I use that to create a sketch. So I don't fully sit down and do like a full on sketch for them, because they haven't hired me. They haven't put in a deposit or anything. So I will use Midjourney to help me create a sketch for a Route 66 unique theme, submit that. So I am doing that this week. I have not done that yet, but it is on my to-do list, and that is also something that I am doing. So applying for things is number three. And by the way, when I reached out and so I have created some Roger the Raccoons here lately, and I have a lot in discussion. So that is working. So me going to the Chamber of Commerce meeting and messaging people that I have already been in contact with but didn't follow through a while ago, a couple of those have landed. And plus, so number four, I created a flyer here in Procreate. I will put it inside of the Academy and to see for an example, but I created a flyer about the Roger the Raccoon. It has just little bits of information on it. I've printed out about 30 of them, and I've passed around about 10 so far. So I've messaged people online and sent it to their direct message. I have passed it around in person, and the first one that I went to, I landed. It was a local bar and grill, and so I go up to them and I say, hey there, I show them the flyer. Hi there, I'm a local artist with the Roger the Raccoon. Would your business be interested in having one of these? And are you the person that I should be talking to? Simple as that. Going in person. And they give me the contact information. I'll specifically ask, like, hey, can I have your owner's phone number? And usually they'll be like, oh, I'm like, oh, come on. Like, this will be really fun to have here. Don't you think? Like, but usually they'll give it to me because we're a small town, but it doesn't take that much talking into. But also, I am going around to some of the businesses or the building owners here in Rogersville, ones that have really big walls. And I just walk in and say, hi, I'm Andrea, local Rogersville, blah, blah, blah. I see you have a blank wall here. Would you be up for a chat about or seeing some mock-ups that I have about putting a really big raccoon mural on your building? Because now I'm upping it to where I'm not just creating little Roger the raccoons around. I really want to do big ones. And so I go in person and have these conversations, or at least get the phone number of the person who I should be talking to and then send them photos. So I did that for a couple different places, and then I follow up with text message. I get their phone number while I'm there, follow up with text message, say, hey, this is Andrea. These are the mock-ups that I was thinking about having on your building. What do you think? And pitching it that way. For the first couple ones of these, I'm going to do it just for trade and supplies. So maybe like $350. I'm going to go out and do it with spray paint. It's going to take me a day, but what does that do, right? It gets my art, something that I really want to create on a building, and I'm painting in public. Huge. So if you're not doing anything, just figuring out a way to get your supplies paid for, go out, paint in public, something that you want to create, right? I don't let them nitpick me and say, this is what I can do. Yeah, add this and add that. I'd be like, no. Like, this is a fun discount. Like, you get to pay for supplies if I get to do this, because this is something that I really know that people are really going to love, and people are going to want to take pictures with it. If we make it too branded towards you, it becomes a different thing. It becomes something that I don't really want to paint. But if you want to pay for it, then you can totally do that. And we have the conversation there, right? I have full scripts of this inside of the Academy, like line by line, but I'm just giving you the Cliff Notes version of it. The quick, like, this is how to get a job quick kind of a thing. Or at least this is how to get your art seen kind of a thing. This is how to get you out painting away from your studio. Don't just stare at your computer all day, sending out pitches or email things if it's killing you inside, because it kind of does me. And when I'm getting permission for this, for instance, I'm trying to think of the exact text that I sent. So I'm recording on my phone for this, so I can't exactly pick up my phone and do it. But I went into a business to where I had done a previous raccoon, and I was like, hey, who is your building owner? I see that wall over there. Like, do you think he'd be up for doing a big mural on this? And they said, well, we know that we're going to put advertising on the top left. So whenever you're going to do your quick mock-up to show him, make sure there's nothing at the top left. That way that won't be his first, no to you. I'm like, great, good to know. So good to have that insight. And I say, hey, can you give me his phone number? So I took a picture of her phone and had his phone number on it with his name. And I just sent him a text that just said, hello, this is Andrea, the local artist behind the Roger the Raccoons. Would you be up for a chat about possibly painting a raccoon mural on your wall? And then I just sent him a photo of his wall with the really quick mock-up on there. And then again, I just took an image from Midjourney, put it on the wall because I went by to take a photo of it too, and showed it. So he didn't text me back. Let's see, I sent that on Wednesday, and he did not say anything until Saturday. And he said, let me talk with my tenants and see what they think, and we'll let you know. And I said, great, thanks. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, days later, I had thought, okay, this guy is not going to respond because it's text message. Like, people, wait to respond with emails, but text is usually pretty quick. And I like to use text message with a photo, with a quick pitch. So both of those things in text message, not as much email. Email is good, but I prefer texting someone, and trying not to be super annoying, but just being quick to the point and saying hi, putting it in front of their face. And this is it. I got your number from this person. Don't be mad at me. I'm not a spammer. And this is how you do it. Okay. And so hopefully it happens. So I'm doing all of this stuff, right? And I'm like, okay, this is a good effort. It's working getting in there and, making things happen. And I know I'm going to get something from it. I know this because I'm not going to stop until I do. I also took pictures of all the bridges here. So there's 3 bridges, main ones between here and Springfield. So a major highway. And I really want to do raccoon murals on those because people are driving under this underpass. You see a big raccoon here, and then you're driving it and you see another one and another 5 miles, and you're like, okay, I want Rogersville to be the raccoon capital of the world yet again. And so I'm like, okay, the bridge. Yeah, this will be great, but I need to get approval from the city. So I emailed somebody through the Chamber of Commerce, say, hey, who do I need to contact? She told me. I left a voice message. I sent him an email, still waiting on hearing back. So I'm putting that into it. I also sent him the exact mock-ups on those exact bridges of exactly what I want to do to show people, hey, this is what I want to do. I need approval, blah, blah, blah. So that's what I'm doing. I'm really putting in a full effort. And again, I'm not going to stop until I do it. But every time this happens where I get a little bit of a dip and I don't have as many things on the schedule, rarely do I have nothing, absolutely nothing. But right now I have, nothing. And it's weird. But I'm like, is this the universe, whatever you want to call it, saying, hey, how about you spend time doing the thing that you've been really wanting to do rather than doing the thing you've always done, right? So the thing that I've been really wanting to do was going through the academy and updating the videos, which we're pretty much to the end of that. I've been doing a lot of that. And I'm like, okay, now what? I really want to start painting canvases again. I've started a little bit here and there, but I really want to do it. And I know, and the universe and everything else knows, that if I have something else planned that week, I'm doing that. I'm not going to spend time creating canvases more than just a couple hours or maybe even just one day. I really want to spend some time creating some canvases and attempting to get back on the print run and get back on all of that. And I feel like this is a time where I really get to lean in and do that. And I know that this is not good advice, saying, hey, spend all day, every day painting and see what happens. I don't know if that's great advice for somebody who needs to pay their bills, right? But it's what I want to do right now, and I'm going to see what comes of it. And I'm so excited for it. I'm interviewing a lot of canvas artists and print sales artists here on the podcast, and just to get into the groove of it and ask them, hey, what's your, I know how to create murals. I know how to go get those jobs and do all that. But what is your process for selling canvases at a really good amount? Because I have problems, and it might be a money block thing. It might be something. I'm trying to uncover what my block is of why I can sell a mural for $5,000, sure, no big deal. But then a canvas, it doesn't roll off the tongue as easily. It's just not finding the right buyer, not presenting it in a way, I don't know. But I am on a mission from now until the end of the year to, I don't know, man. I don't know that I have a goal, but maybe sell a $5,000 painting. That's my goal. And create a series of work on canvas and sell them and find my groove with it. I don't know what that groove is right now, but I think it's fun to share a little bit of, when I'm in the messy middle. I know how to get mural jobs. Like I just showed you. I just told you this is exactly how you go get paid for a mural and go be seen in public and do all the things and go to the networking meetings and all things. But when it comes to canvases, especially specifically, so non-commissioned canvases, I do not want to paint on canvas what somebody else wants me to paint. I just don't want to do it. So how do I create something that I want to paint and then sell it? My theory is have a story behind it, show up consistently all the time with it, because granted, right now I just paint murals and I paint commissions for other people. I don't ever show up and say, hey, this is for sale, buy it. So I'm going to get into that. But yeah, welcome to my experiment. This is going to be a fun experiment in the next several months of selling canvas art. And I'm going to see if I can sell a $5,000 painting. I'm just going to put it out there and we'll see how it goes. So I'll update you on the next episode, solo episode that I put out, which is probably be in the next couple weeks, and we'll see how it goes. But if you have a goal that you want to make happen, whether it's doing murals or selling canvases or doing whatever, that weird thing that you think you can't make money from, but you really want to do, but you're not making time for, I hope that the universe makes you have time for it. And I hope that you see it like that, because that's how I'm choosing to see it. And I think it's going to work out. I'm sure it's going to work out. Why not? And if you're going along this with me and you have nothing happening right now, I hope that you really look in and say, what do I really, really want to do? Not just what she's doing or what he's doing or whatever I'm seeing or whatever I'm hearing. What do I really want to create? What's the fun thing that would create for me? And then I hope that you just dive into it. So I'm practicing right now is just showing up, putting paint on the canvas, not having a complete perfect idea before I start. And I've found that whenever I map things out beforehand and I start creating like a mock-up before I paint, it just stops me in my tracks. So I have realized right now, I just have to paint. I just have to show up to that canvas and do the things and start painting and add to it, because that's how that's how I started this. I used to not even plan anything. I used to not plan murals, which was a mistake, by the way. I would just show up and be like, okay, I think I have a good idea. Let me start painting. And there was a lot of redos in that. So then I learned, okay, wait, with murals, I have to create a mock-up for approval. Sometimes we go back and forth and then we paint. But for my own canvases, that is not true. That's a rule in my head that I had come to know and think that was real from painting murals, but it's not real when it comes to my canvas art. I don't have to have a perfect planned out idea and have the complete reference photos. I can just wing it. And that's where the fun is. And that's where I've kind of lost it as of recently, that and just losing time with, having a toddler and all the things. But I just haven't painted on canvas in so long that it's just getting back into it is kind of tough, and having that discipline. But here we go. We're going to do it. And I'm doing a mix of doing outreach and putting things out there. And we're about to start to do more follow-ups on emails as well, and doing all of that, but also just leaning into, I'm going to paint 3 days a week. Whoa, I haven't painted for myself 3 days a week in a really long time. So that is the goal here in the next couple months, and I'll keep you updated. Okay, that's all I have today. I hope you found it interesting in some way. Let me know if you have any kind of feedback, and I will see you next week.